Hello everyone, this is Buck Mayers, Director of Instruction at Escondido Golf and Lake Club in beautiful Horseshoe Bay, Texas. I'm the co-founder, co-inventor of the ProZone with my partner in crime, Mark Gray. I want to go over a couple of things that the ProZone will help you do. The lady on the right is one of my students that when she first came to me had a couple of flaws. We'll start with the dress and then we'll talk about as far as the biomechanical, the swing flaw in just a second. But more times than not, I can find one or two things at a dress that's going to promote some of the swing flaws that people have. If you look at Tina on the right, you can tell that most of her body is in front of the golf ball. I think she's hitting a 9-iron here, but and I'm not opposed to the ball position being centered or slightly forward of center. It's where her spine is and her body in relationship to the ball. So that's the number one thing. Let me erase that line. That's really not a great visual of the line here, but you can still tell she's still slightly in front of it. And that promotes, in my opinion, a biomechanical sequence issue, which when she gets to the halfway back point, that she's going to move, again, linear with her hips and tilt with her spine. If you watch from this position forward, her hips will go out and her spine tilts up, which flattens the shoulders, gets the arms stuck behind. Now she typically will lunge. Her upper body will follow her lower body forward, so now she's even further in front, which promotes the casting or the early releasing of the right forearm and the wrist angle at the same time. You can see those two things are happening simultaneously. So that's a pretty common swing flaw that I see, which is a huge power leak, number one. It also throws the club head outside the plane. She typically, if she does hit it solid, she pulls it to the left. And then when you early release or scoop or flip, however you want to define that, you will be able to see that the left elbow will pull, and then you end up holding on to the shaft through impact. There's no releasing of the forearms through the ball there. What happens in the casting or the early release is she's trying to catch up. Her body's moved too far forward or too linear toward the target, and so she's got to get back to the ball. And another thought is a lot of the ladies that I work with that have this flaw, they subconsciously just try to help the ball up in the air. And I think that's one of the issues here too, that she's trying to hit it up versus hit it out. And again, set up, we want to be a little bit more behind the ball. Take away, we want to really work on not letting the hips move lateral here so that the spine doesn't move out of posture. If you watch her head here, you can see that it's going to move up and tilt back toward the target. And the upper body is going to follow the lower body, and therefore the early release of the cast in an effort to square the club and catch back up. She throws it, pulls it, and pulls onto it. So if you see people that have that chicken wing look or left elbow coming out of the swing first, that's the effect. The cause is the early release of the club too soon. But the root cause is set up and the sequence of the takeaway. So let's look at it on the left and let's talk about the first part of the takeaway. We've often used the tail wags the dog back. If you look at this motion, there is some motion with the hips and chest, but primarily with the hands and the arms till it gets about waist high. And my shoulders will respond to my arms, and then my hips respond to that. And then in the change of direction, you can see I'm behind the ball. You can see the lower body is actually starting first. The right elbow will actually drop down in front of my body here. Therefore, my hands really don't do anything. Still behind the ball. My weight's on my left leg now. Head stays back. I haven't done anything with the hands here. If you look at the back of my glove, I'm going to erase this line just for a second. I want you to look at the back of the glove here. I want you to watch what it does through the ball. You can see that the logo on my glove actually disappears through impact. From forearm Yep, chest rotation. Lacked a little bit of extension here. I guess that's why I'm a golf professional and not a professional golfer, but lacked a little bit of extension through the ball here. See, I short armed it just a little bit. I think the cause of that, if I was looking at it with a fine tooth eye, is that I'm continuing to move linear here and not rotary. So that tells me that my rotation of my hips stopped there. I'm still moving laterally instead of rotary. But still overall, pretty good golf swing. Did hit it solid. Good balance finish. You can see there's no chicken wing in that swing. So there's a good example of what would help you with not early releasing the club, coming over the top, and having a huge power leak to impact. So if you're hitting it fat or thin or toe or heel, pulls, hooks, slices, and so forth, more times than not, you're just a little bit out of sequence, and sometimes it starts with a duress. So there you go on over the top and early releasing. Hope to see you guys soon, and good luck.